they're wondering, I'm sure there's someone out there who can give me a job, because at the moment they've got the skills but they haven't got someone to work for, and there you are providing that opportunity for them. And tell me what is not great about that.
And it's interesting, you know, Africa, West call it the final frontier. There's, you know, when they say, oh, if you come over, now they're saying that if you come over to, if you're African or from parts of Nigeria and Ghana, you come over, you've got to give some deposit down to, I tell people, don't come over here, man, let's go back to Africa. Because that's where so much opportunity is. In fact, not so much, it's too much opportunity out there. And we've got thousands of people listening from across Africa. You are in a place of opportunities. You're in a land of opportunity. So many of you, I know many listeners want to become into fashion. We're going to give a website later on, but it's so important that you do things with excellence, that you see opportunities and understand it's not just about you, yourself and her, you yourself and me, and only to yourself and I, but it's about him, her, and it's about your generation. Listen, let me ask you a question. I mean, we've heard a great story about, you know, came from London, come from Nigeria, over to the UK, went up to Yorkshire. I know my accent there.
You're right, chap.
Hey up, lads. Went up to so you know, you got your studies, etc. Tell the listeners some of the mistakes, some of the challenges that you went through as an entrepreneur, and that maybe you're still going through.
I think the one that sort of was very evident was, if looking back now, if I sort of knew more about what I was, in terms of the business aspect of it, you know, getting, I think, as with every business, you need people around you. It's not something that you can, it's in the beginning, it's something that you can do with, you know, with the resources and time that you have. But ultimately, you need a team around you. You need people who can help you with the different aspects. You cannot be everywhere at the same time, doing all of it at the same time. You need people. You need to build a team. And that is what I wish, maybe starting with, I actually didn't embark on it by myself and actually got people along with me. Luckily, I was lucky enough to have my brother who was who's very into the technical aspect of building websites and is an avid photographer as well. So he built my website for me. And like the very first photo shoot that we had, he was the one that took all the pictures. And even people commented, people commented on the pictures and said, wow, they love it. People commented on, I was telling people that people said, oh, I love your website. And I said, boy, seriously? Like the vision I had with that website, this was what I had and was right there. I mean, you obviously you start from there and then you build up. And I'm still sort of getting there. But you know, it's great to sort of have that team around you, because then you can sort of work together towards a common goal. Because sometimes when you're doing it by yourself, it's hard to cover everything. You want to do it all, but there are times when something gets left out or something does not get done to the same standard as you want it. Obviously, there's a standard you put for everything, and you realize that there's this aspect of it that I'm not sort of doing it in that sort of that level of excellence that I want everything to be. So obviously, as time went on, I had to obviously get some people to help me. Obviously, some people will do it voluntarily, and some people, in terms of, like, say for instance, you went for a photo shoot, it's hard to do everything. There's so much that goes into a photo shoot: hair and makeup, sorting out the styling, everything, and you know you're running from one place to another. And in that case, it's good to have a team, because then someone you can delegate. That's another great thing that an entrepreneur does. You should be able to delegate, say, you do this please, and you do this, and then that comes together working a lot more effectively than you trying to do everything else.
So how did you? I mean, I'm sure you got people around you. So, and I think that's what makes entrepreneurs who we are, because we know how to manage a little. When all the stresses are coming, we know how to handle it. Say, okay, even though I ain't got no one around me, boy, this needs to be done.
Yes.
So do you believe that made you a stronger person, a better entrepreneur?
Absolutely, yes, definitely. I had to do, in the beginning I had to do literally everything for myself, apart from my brother, but then he was already in charge of something. So I had to literally pick the ball up on everything else. But then I think that actually helped, because then you're able to say, you know what, even if I can't get someone to help me, I can actually do this. It'll be great to get someone to help you, but you know that you can actually handle everything by yourself. And actually knowing as you go along, you tend to sort of notice the bits that you dropped the ball on before, to use that, that term. And then obviously going forward, you know that, I can set goals for myself, and I can plan in such a way that everything gets done, even though you don't have help. And I think in the beginning, it's hard to get people to come, obviously, because you're just starting out.
Yes.
Limited resources, in terms of finances, in terms of literally maybe models, or maybe if you're not into fashion, depending on anything you're doing, in the beginning it's probably going to be you and maybe one other person, but it is still something you have to do. You have to sit down, make plans, and make goals. I think that's the thing. You have to set goals for yourself, because if you're not setting goals, it's hard to know when you've actually achieved those goals. You just say, oh, I want to do this. Oh, I don't know. You say for example, mine is, okay, by the end of this month, I want to do a photo shoot. What are the goals that you need to put down in order to do that?
Of course.
And then set plans to achieve each goal. Oh, do I need to get in touch with a photographer? When are they going to be available? You might think they're going to be available for a set, but hey, it turns out they're not available to do that. And then you're going to have to be flexible and walk around that. But then as time goes on, you get better at it, basically. But yeah, I think those are the things that I sort of had to learn with, learn from, starting out. Because obviously you're doing everything, by yourself. Social media was one of the things I had to sort of learn, because I have to admit I'm not, because like this Twitter, Pinterest, I had to know which ones was more for fashion, because there's so much out there. There's Kik, Instagram, there's YouTube, there's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's so many things.
But one thing I like about you, though, is when I noticed about watching, especially when the first time, you understand the principle of social media. Social media, as you said, once you find and for listeners out there, once you find what's working for you, I don't use what you call Pinterest. Pinterest. I don't use that. I don't use Instagram.
I don't even do it anymore.
Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Yeah. But one thing I always tell entrepreneurs out there is maximize Facebook. It's a free platform. It's interesting. If you go to version,
it's not so free anymore. But yeah.
Well, it's free. It's not costing me nothing. It's not costing me nothing to advertise Media House.
That's right.
If you go to Virgin's page, straight away you're seeing their logo. That's branding. I always tell people, people will write books about branding, have conferences, do webinars. The biggest brand is by always going out there and pushing out there. Even if you get 1 million likes or 1 like, subconsciously people are going to see your brand. Ella Bethel, Ella Bethel, Ella Bethel, Ella Bethel. And I really salute you and I really admire you for that, because you took that understanding on board. Some Christians might think, oh, if I don't write about Jesus on Facebook, he's going to disown me in front of the Father. That's religion, you know what I mean? It's true.
Oh my goodness.
I'm telling you, as a businessman, I speak to a lot of people, and you're thinking, it's religion. Me, I know, and it's so important. Oh, if I don't do this, come on.
Yeah, and it's so funny actually, because in the world of in the business of fashion, let's put it like that, and I think that probably plays up with a lot of people who are Christian, but because of that, they're limiting themselves. I'll give you an example. You want to do a photo shoot, and you've got this amazing photographer, you've got this amazing, and then the shot calls for your model to be dressed in a high-waisted skirt, which is one of your designs. But then the photographer goes, the only thing the model's going to be wearing with that is going to be like a bandota, which is just covering, it's covering the essentials basically. And she goes, no, that can happen because people are going to see, what sort of Christian is she? I'm sorry, this is fashion. Then when they see that, the photographer is going to do a job in such a way that they're not going to see that. The attention is going to be on your product, the skirt, the trousers, the bag, whatever. But that I've seen that happen a lot. The mentality of, oh my God, I'm a Christian. I'm not saying I'm not promoting nudity in
no,
any way
of course, no.
I'm saying that it is fashion, and fashion is open to interpretation.
Of course.
And obviously sometimes the interpretation that Christians get is, oh my God, all they're going to see is, she's just wearing nothing but a skirt.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
How was selling your products at the start, at the birth of Ella Bethel? Because that's, for me, that's quite important.
Yes, absolutely. I think right from the get-go, we had the website on, we had the shop on, and basically the vision I had was, I don't want to mention because I don't know about copyright, there's a certain website that I like, because when you go there, it's not about the model, it's about the dress, it's about you seeing what the dress looks like. Obviously you need a clothes house, you need a model to wear it, but it's not about the looking pretty, it's about you seeing the dress. And I really wanted to sort of take something from that, so I had that vision as well. So basically I had that going on the website as well, so when you go to Ella Bethel, you click shop, it was already there. So basically it was, for me, I think it was more in terms of marketing myself, selling myself out there to say the shop is now open. And so basically I had a few friends volunteer to model for me. I'm really grateful, because obviously without a demo, because obviously there's not really a lot of free modeling shots. You have to pay for modeling. In the beginning, you might not have, that's the thing, you might not have that resource available to you. So make the best, maximize, that's the word. Maximize the people around you who are willing to support your vision, who are willing to help out, that kind of thing. And I had people like that. So selling my clothes was more along the lines of using Facebook actually to promote it and say, this is what I've got, a skirt, someone's wearing the skirt, buy this, you might have offers, this is available to buy, I've got it in these sizes, and sort of just slowly got the word out there. I mean, I don't think there's any Ella Bethel garment that I put on Facebook that nobody has seen at the moment. I pretty much think at some point it has been promoted on Facebook, and I'm glad that you said it. I mean, to a certain extent Facebook is free. I mean, now you can sort of promote it and whatever, but to a certain extent you can still really use Facebook to sort of promote it to a wider audience. And as much as people believe that Facebook, you know, there's the school of thought that Facebook is now much more monetary than, you know, but you can still use it to your advantage. You can still use it to sell your products, and you know. And I think what's really important is when you're selling your product, you want to drive traffic to your site.
Oh, yes.
It's not enough to just advertise and then people think, okay, where am I going to get this from? And the first thing is your landing page, where people are going to, when people click on your website, where they're going, it needs to they need to go and go, wow, I love that. And the next thing
listeners, you see, I spoke, I told, I wrote, I prophesied. You need to have a good website.
That's right.
I've been prophesying this, you know, like I'm some prophet of websites of wherever. It's so important.
So important.
I mean, I've written blogs. I might end up writing a book. I might do another teaching it. It's so important. I love Ella Bethel's website. I mean, I was on it last night.
It's actually undergoing a change at the moment.
Of course.
In a couple of days, we're going to be coming out with a brand new website.
Wow.
Amazing.
You heard it first here on ONYI Media House Show, how to become an entrepreneur in distinction. One of the things that I like is that I've been picking up from you is that you use people around you.
That's true.
And I think for entrepreneurs, no matter what stage you are in life, people really are your help. People around you have to obviously discern who's for you and who's not for you. But it's so important, entrepreneurs, as you're listening, no matter where you are, in Sydney, Australia, Kenya, wherever you are around the world, it's so important to have the right people around you. I mean, I've got a few people around you. I call them, you know, Elizabeth is part of G Tribe from KICC, Kings International. Right. I was going to call my team D Tribe, but I don't do no politics in church, so I'll call them the D team, the distinction team. You know who you are. I know you're listening, but it's so important to have people around you that believe in your vision.
That's right.
That can see your vision and understand your vision.
That's right.
Oh, okay, I want to launch a new product. No, let's wait until next year. Like, you understand? Oh, I wanna go at networking. Oh, I'm tired now, but the same people are tired of watching TV for 4 hours. So, entrepreneurs, it's so important that you have the right people around you. You're not necessarily going to have to pay them anything, but they see what you see, they believe what you see, and when they want to run with what you see. And once it happens, it's a wrap. I mean, I remember I saw one of your pictures of you done of, I think it was like a wedding or something on Facebook, and I said, wow, and I recognized about 4 or 5 faces, and I said, look at that. That's the power of team, that's the power of vision, and that's the law of friendship, to be fair, association.
That's right.
So, Ella Bethel, how would you sum up Ella Bethel in one word?
Distinction.
That's
not to use your word.
No, you can use it. I'm copyrighted it in 2002. I'm really joking. Distinction. That's what I'm talking about. Wow.
Absolutely, distinction. In terms of when people type in Ella Bethel and they look at what Ella Bethel stands for, be it, you know, clothes right now, shoes, men's fashion, women's fashion, that level of that element of distinction is what that's my benchmark. You know, because as much as we don't want to talk about there are 1,001 people out there into fashion as well, but that sort of, they might not be able to put a finger on it, but they'll know there's an element of distinction on this, and that is what I strive for. I look at fashion giants like Armani. There's a reason why they're fashion giants. There's a reason why people don't even look at what they're buying. They just buy it because it is Armani, because it is Versace, because they have put in the time. That's
powerful. That was wisdom from a, but that was very, very unique what you just said. People don't even, and I'm sure many of you listeners, some of you want to get into fashion, and obviously we're going to begin that Elizabeth contact details there. But I loved what you said, you know, about they've got to a point when they don't care what they're buying. They know it's Armani and they're buying it. It could be some pink flowery tight jeans, with no pocket, they know it's ONYI, and for the fact you want to strive to that level of distinction, I think is important. And entrepreneurs, wherever you are around the world, your brand, ONYI Media House's excellence is creating distinction. Your brand has to be distinguished. It has to be. What distinguishes you from any other brand? If you're a hairdresser, if you're a computer analysis, if you're a website designer, if you're a speaker, what distinguishes your brand from any other brand? Because we're living in a competitive world. There's 1,000,000,001 young entrepreneurs who get into fashion, who got into fashion. But what distinguishes Elizabeth is her excellence, not a mediocrity. Wow. Ella Bethel, let me just read your brand out, your vision, sorry. Ella Bethel, a premium but easy, accessible, international fashion brand, creating waves in the African fashion scene, making way for new and fresh ideas. I mean, that epitomizes an entrepreneur. Remember, an entrepreneur is a leader of excellence, trailblazer and pioneer who constantly brings change to their generation, appealing to a wide range of consumers and eventually leading and becoming one of the top brands in the fashion industry. That's powerful. It's powerful, it's prophetic, and it's really, you are who you are. So, absolutely. Ella Bethel, I'm not going to call you Elizabeth, I'm going to call you Ella Bethel.
Thank you.
It's the brand.
Absolutely. It is me. Ella Bethel is me. When people call me that, I said, I am Ella Bethel.
One of the things that I love is, once again, on Facebook, I saw when a few of the pregnant sisters, expecting mothers, they were wearing your thing. I found that so unique. I mean, I applaud you. I said, nah, that's what I'm talking about. You find a market, you find a niche market, and you lock it down. Tell us more about for stuff for the expecting mothers.
That came about. I had actually been thinking about that. About roughly early this year, I got an email from an expectant mother who actually does not even live in London. She lives in up north Manchester, and said, I love your stuff.
Where?
Manchester.
Manchester.
I
can help.
Manchester. She said, I love your stuff, but I don't see anything for pregnant women. And I said,
wow.
Do you do that? And I said, at the moment, no. I am willing to do a bespoke for you, but in time that would come about.
Yes.
And we sent emails back and forth, and I designed some stuff for her,
wow.
and she loved them. And she said, wow, you know what, I can't wait for you guys. I can't wait for Ella Bethel to start doing maternity wear.
Wow.
Same with baby stuff as well. I've had requests for, when are you going to start doing baby stuff? I said,
wow.
Give it time, I will. That kind of thing. I have a few ideas with that as well. So
wow.
When the opportunity presented itself, a friend of mine got pregnant, immediately I started thinking, I've got to get an Ella Bethel. I had ideas, and then she had something coming up as well, and it was amazing because she hadn't actually come to me. I just went to her and said, listen, I've got a design. I didn't even say you've got to wear this, because I said that I saw you and I said, yes, I found my muse, wow. Basically. And she went, how strange, I was going to come to you.
Okay.
And I was going to say, can you design me something? I've got somewhere to be. And that was how that happened.
Pioneer. So that's, remember, an entrepreneur, leader of excellence, trailblazer, and pioneer. You're pioneering new projects, and you know what's going to happen next, because you're a leader of excellence. Many people are going to follow you, but I'd rather you be a pioneer than a pirate. When I saw, and that's what I'm saying, ladies, you're an expecting mother.
That's right.
Contact Ella Bethel. We're going to give you the website in about 2 seconds.
That's right.
Even if you're believing God for you better do it by faith.
That's
you
right.
say, you know what, I'm buying £100, £200, £500 worth of maternity leave. Why? Because we walk by faith and not by sight.
That's right.
I thought that was correct. When I saw it, I said, this is what you call profound business. And I like what you said earlier, opportunities. Entrepreneur, no matter where you are around the world, like I said earlier, there's not so many opportunities. There's too much opportunities out there. You've got to open up your eyes and run with it and see it. Because if you don't do it, someone else will
do it. Absolutely.
I mean, Ella Bethel, they're going to be producing baby wear. Look at that. For expecting mothers, even for men.
Yes, absolutely.
I live in a nice part of town. I won't say where. And then obviously I'll just, so much big roads and nice greenery. I was thinking a nice walk. And something that came into my heart on, I think it must have been Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday, when I was thinking about this program. I believe you're going to be a speaker. Not so talk, you don't have to be like motivational or empowerment, but I truly believe how Ella Bethel is branding, what direction is going, there's going to be a lot of demand for you to be speaking in corporate organizations. I'm prophesying right now. Speaking in corporate organizations, speaking in schools, because many young people, they're so gifted, they're so talented, but you have to be a voice, not a noise. Remember, Ella Bethel now is a voice for a generation, is a voice in Africa, is a voice in Europe. So I truly, two things I believe, as well as what you've said already, definitely a speaker. So So I think you've got to need to start branding yourself in that thing.
And
It's not
take
hard.
that.
You've been speaking for the last 45 minutes and
I've
you'd be
enjoyed
surprised.
it, by the way, guys.
I know everyone's enjoying it.
Probably carry on talking.
No, please don't. We only got like 13 minutes left. But definitely a speaker, and definitely the side that dropped in my heart as well when I was just taking that nice walk in my very nice area with a big road is definitely a mentoring scheme. As I said, in Africa, particularly because they call it the final frontier, there's so much opportunity, and you're a visionary, and we were speaking about that very soon. You're a visionary leader, and definitely I believe that even through your website, you're going to be mentoring tens of thousands of people.
Amen.
Definitely, that came in my spirit.
Amen.
Speaking and mentoring. As you pray about it, God will definitely open up doors and opportunities.
Amen.
But get ready. So we've only got 30 minutes. We're still going to be talking.
No.